Welcome to my Bajerski Crystals channel. What top have I got on today? Oh, I look like a bit of Ganesha. How are you doing, guys? It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope you're doing well. Well, I was just thinking to myself, it's been a while since I talked about healing and some of the finer points of healing, looking into it in great detail. I think it's really nice to go in depth with healing. A lot of the times I just skim the surface of healing and you kind of know that I'm a healer, but how does it really work? How does healing really make a difference in a child's life, say for instance? Looking back, the times that I used to heal children was because of normally anxiety. Anxiety was a really big issue with children, and I found that it caused a lot of issues with their chest, a lot of issues with their mind, and they were kind of restless. Children were never quite themselves. They were unbalanced, and coupled with bad food. it took it took me probably about a year to understand children and understand their energy. And one of the things that we teach in the Pure Energy Healing Academy when you come to learn healing is that children are a lot more susceptible to energy. They're like sponges. They absorb it, just like animals, to be honest. And there's something really unique about that. And I recall one time when a little girl had been brought by a mother and grandmother, and I often share this story because it was the most profound one. And the little girl, I had no idea, the little girl had an illness, a disease, which was something that would stay with the child forever. And I remember doing the healing session on the mother, and the grandma was sat with the little girl. I think she was called Eunice, something like that, I think. And anyway, I was doing the healing session, and for some reason, I felt that the little girl just needed a little bit of healing. So from the mother, as I was just doing the healing session, I was compelled to go over and just place my hand on the back of this little beautiful girl. Now, up until this moment, the girl was really doing well, but at this point, when my hand went onto her back, the little girl stopped still. And you could see she didn't move, and it wasn't because there was a hand on her back. She was actually experiencing something in her body. She was experiencing a new feeling that she'd never felt before, and it's called pure energy healing or healing. And it's an energy that, like sometimes somebody will give you a cuddle and you think, I miss that cuddle. I miss those cuddles of yours. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because we have energy which is strong, and sometimes we have energy which is weak. When our energy is strong, we automatically become healers for somebody who's not so strong. I felt compelled to place my hand on her back and just left it there. The little girl basically froze, and within those 7 minutes, 7 minutes, I could feel an almost pouring of a universal energy flowing through my hand and into her amazing body shell. So her temple was receiving this energy. And like I said, it didn't last long, but the feelings I was getting as that healing was taking place was, how do I describe it? It's like a magnet holding my hand, and you can't let it go. And you can actually feel the speed of the energy flowing through. It's very different from healing an adult. And when a child really needs healing, you sometimes get this tsunami of energy flowing through you, and your hand normally goes into like a shock energy, so it goes numb, and you can't feel your hand anymore. But there's also a tingling feeling, or a freezing feeling, or a boiling feeling, or a really painful feeling. And sometimes that painful feeling, I used to remember going like that, and my client couldn't see, but I'd be like, because it was so painful, but I knew that the healing taking place, I was either receiving or cleansing and clearing it, and I could feel the suffering and the pain being dispersed. So as a healer, we become like a mirror image for our client, and sometimes we can feel that pain in certain parts of the body, and you'll finish the session, you'll say, wow, my knee was killing, and I'll say, how do you know? Which knee? Left knee. Oh my god, my knee, I had an operation on that knee, it's never been right. Okay, well that makes sense because I felt it. Well, for this little girl, all I could feel was this rush of energy and this magnetism on her back, and the pain started to throb in my hand. And then it eased off after 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. So the last 2 minutes was just finishing off, and I could feel the energy just easing now. So I took my hand away. Anyway, the session was done, and I think a few months later I saw a message, and I didn't know why I touched the little beautiful girl, but I just felt as if I needed to go to a bank. And then the mother sent a message, or she may have posted something, and to my surprise, she said, you know, my daughter suffers with this kind of, I don't know whether it was a neurological problem or something like that, but she'd never got it thereafter. It disappeared after that healing session. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I remember healing a little boy who was going through such terrible trauma. He wasn't loved as much as what he'd hoped. Father was a bigwig, never really had time, and was never very much at home because he was traveling all over the world. The son came to me here, and the little boy, I don't know, he was about 9, and he had his uniform. He went to a private school here, and he was always sad. In fact, you look at him and he looked miserable. And the mother always tried to boost him up, and she was a lovely lady. Never met the dad, but heard all about the dad. And I remember lying him down, and he fidgeted a lot. There was a lot of fidgeting. And I started the healing session, and I started working on his heart. And from nowhere, the shaking started, and this is sometimes quite profound when the shaking starts. And you know, I was like, when I first saw this, I used to think, wow, what's going on? I hope everything is okay. But you learn to trust that healing's taking place, and you know that when your intention is pure and it's filled with love, you know that there's only pure love and healing taking place. So the shaking started and it stopped. It wasn't like for 10 minutes, it was just like a 5 or 6 or 8 seconds, and then it'd stop, then it'd start again and stop. The little boy never closed his eyes. They were, in fact, most children keep their eyes open, and that's fine, and most children laugh. They laugh, and I end up laughing with them, which is quite beautiful. But this little boy didn't laugh. There wasn't not much happiness in this little boy. And I remember placing my hand on his heart, and then I asked the mother, who was sat down in a white beautiful chair that I used to have, to come over, and I just placed my hand on her heart. So I had my hand on the little boy's heart and my hand on the lady's heart, and it was like, I've never seen anything like it. They both started crying at the same time. The little boy didn't see that the mother had come over, because I just called her over like this, quiet. I didn't say anything. I just looked at her and just called her over and placed my hand on her heart and the boy. And within about 15 seconds, at the same time, they both started releasing, which was crying. They both started opening their heart. I was there for about 15 minutes, and the little boy never stopped crying, and neither did she. 15 minutes. It was probably one of the most profound moments of my life, the connection of mother and son. I realised at that point what was going on, and I realised that there was abuse taking place, and the abuse was kept very quiet, and the little boy was releasing from his abuse because his mother was being abused by the husband. I didn't need any words. I didn't need to be told that. I just knew it. At the end of that healing session, they both got up, and for the first time, they held each other in a way that I'd never seen before. And I would say that was the start of their real relationship as mother and son. I guess what I'm trying to say is that healing is so profound in certain circumstances that I don't think nobody really truly understands the power of healing, the gift of healing. But when you've witnessed these moments in your life, you realize that there is no limit to healing. There is no end or beginning. You can't judge it, you can't measure it, you can't understand it really. You've just got to stand back in awe of not just magic, but this incredible moments that happen, and it just takes your heart and breath away in them moments. I think I stayed as a healer because of those kind of moments, to rekindle a bond between mother and son, to heal people who were told that they could never be healed again, to be part of a wondrous moment of magic that is unexplainable, where doctors say, well, some things can't be explained, and you were part of that moment that could never be explained. When you witness things that you've never seen from day to day, when you realize that life is far more than what you have been taught to believe, then your life changes dramatically through those experiences. And I guess for the past, I'd say 12, 13, maybe 14 years, I'd say 12, good 12 years, people who had no belief system, who didn't truly understand anything about life and their life, when they entered into the same room or started to understand the art of healing and start to practice it, you witness something that is so amazing. And that is the awakening of that beautiful person's magic, gifts, and soul. And I think that's one of the most precious things that I've ever witnessed in my life. And the joy that you see of somebody, the rebirth, the awakening of that soul to magic and to the fact that there's more to life. For the first time, they look at the life and say, I can't believe this. What is this all about? And I guess to finish off, people often say to me, do I have to be in this room to experience it? Well, let me tell you something. Over 100 people thus far have participated in my Pure Energy Healing course with a beautiful healer called Layla Satie, who's a teacher. And they spent 4 days in the company of me and Layla on a screen talking, just like we are now, same thing. And we explain in those 4 days, and we teach and share everything of our knowledge in those full 4 days. And after those 4 days online and interactive, when we sit on a night and say hello and start to communicate with each other about how that day ended and how it went and how your clients went and how did it feel. After those 4 days, I can tell you this as a fact. The same tears, the same joy, the same sadness that the end of the course, it came too soon. But the joy of everybody on that Zoom call when we're connecting to each other and we're sharing our story of those 4 days tells me that it doesn't matter whether it's live or whether you're watching the videos and participating in that amazing moment. So I guess if you are interested in wanting to find that magic in your life, then a great opportunity is in a few days' time, which is the Pure Energy Healing 4-day online interactive course. And it would be great for you to join us. It's going to be magical. It always is. And that's it, really. I just wanted to share that magic of healing with you and how amazing it is and what it does. And I know for a fact, if I heard what I've just said there, if I've heard that from somebody else's lips, I'd be really keen on wanting to know more about healing, because healing is the next stage to your awakening. So people say, how do I become awakened? I'll say, become a healer, learn how to heal. Why is that? Well, that's what happened to me. That's how I understood life. I started going through the process of understanding how to cleanse myself, how to heal myself, how to use crystals, how to use oils, how to use incense, how to understand energy, how to know how to heal somebody, feel their energy, how to help them. You know, all of these things can only help you, because the more you share, the more you give, the more you share your gift of healing, the more you receive healing, and you become an even greater light, a more powerful, intuitive healer and seer. And that's how it works, really. I'm really glad I kept this channel, this crystal channel, to be honest. And it's great to be able to share this with you today. I'd also like to say welcome if this is the first time. And if anybody on there would like to say the words underneath here, I'm really pleased to be here, Mark. That's all you need to say. I'm really pleased to be here, Mark. I will choose one person to win this. Now, they're not all perfect, but it's still fine. It's a nice one. A Chungite. Again, not all perfect. A little bit of a chip here, but still beautiful. I'm going to send that to somebody. A nice piece of Silicon Valley. And a beautiful and very perfect heart in rose quartz. And a little tiny pyramid in shungite again. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna just scroll through and choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names randomly and send them to you. Okay guys, I love you with all my heart. Have a great day wherever you're doing. Keep shining bright, and you never know, you might feel the pull to be on the next Pure Energy Healing course. It's fabulous. And then you'll be part of the Pure Energy Healing Practitioners family. Yeah! Okay, better get to do some work. I've got all these oils to work on now. I'm going to get off. Take care, guys, and cross your fingers that we get Mark Bajerski YouTube back up again. Cross your fingers.